There's a quote made by one of the American presidents by name Thomas Jefferson. He said, agriculture is our wisest pursuit because it will in the end contribute most to real wealth, good morals, and happiness. Agriculture is our wisest pursuit because it will in the end contribute to real wealth, good morals, and happiness. Because if agriculture goes wrong, nothing else can go right. If agriculture goes wrong, nothing else can go right. John F. Kennedy once also said, the farmer is the only person in the economy who buys everything at retail price. He sells at wholesale and he also pays the freight both ways. John F. Kennedy was the 35th president of America, while Thomas Jefferson was the 3rd president of America. What is John F. Kennedy saying? He's actually saying that the farmer buys expensively. When he harvests, he sells less than the market value so that you can actually buy at a market value. And he also pays the cost of transportation. That's the freight both ways. He goes to the farm to get it, he pays his cost, he brings it to his farm, he pays his cost. In fact, probably when he's selling, most likely he also pays the freight. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching me from across the world. My name is Omenuko Emeka Moses of the Omenuko Lifestyle channel. Omenuko one. Welcome to my channel again. Today, I want to do a cost analysis and comparison. Cost analysis and comparison survey of what it cost me to plant beans this year, 2024, and compare the cost of the production of the beans against the yield, the harvest. At the end of this video, we are going to find out if it was worth it to farm. And this video is in response to a comment made on one of my videos, my latest videos on beans farming. This is from True Wealth 01 on YouTube. True Wealth 01 on YouTube. He or she said, "Thanks so much for this, sir. How much do you spend on workers and chemicals to know if it's worth it? Thanks so much, sir, for this. How much do you spend on workers and chemicals to know if it's worth it?" I want to believe your question, True Wealth, you're trying to find out if it's actually worth the stress or what's the process of going to farm to know if the yield, what I spent in comparison to the yield, was actually worth it. This is a very good question, and it's a question I always ask myself. If you remember, I once told you that beans is one of the most rugged food crops you can ever propagate. And why? Because you will never go wrong with it. So back to my topic of the day. What is the cost of me farming 2 mudu of beans in 2024? What did it cost me? I've typed out all it cost me and done a breakdown analysis for True Wealth 01 based on your request. Before I proceed, if you have any questions also that will require a video analysis, you can drop it in the comment. I'm going to make a video to it. Whatever the question is, I'll make a video to it and I'll post on the YouTube. Those coming to my channel for the first time, I want to welcome you. I want to thank you. I have some comments from those that told me they're watching from the UK, from the US. I want to say I'm seeing that and I've responded to your inquiries, and I'm very, very grateful for those that are watching me from far away land. I mean, this is why I'm doing this. I'm so excited when I get this kind of feedbacks for those that are in tune with what we're doing here. If agriculture goes wrong, nothing else can go right in any economy. If agriculture goes wrong, nothing else can go right. Now, Will Rogers said the farmer has to be an optimist. Do you know what it means to like throwing away your seed, hoping that something will come off? The farmer is a great optimist. Okay, back to the matter of the day. Now, this comparison is between the total cost of the beans production and the current market value of the final produce. This survey also seeks to give insight into whether it's worth the farming process. That is, if its profit was made, if I were to sell. Remember, I'm not farming for commercial purposes. I'm farming just to feed my family. Like, I encourage everyone, if you have parcels of land anywhere, you can propagate the land instead of keeping it like that. I mean, without doing anything on it, you can start farming on it. So this survey, as I said earlier, is being done in response to a question posed by one of my viewers, True Wealth, on YouTube. Let me go right into it, the breakdown. I've typed this, so I'll be looking at my TV screen or my laptop. It cost me, how much did it cost me? The first thing is, how much did it cost me to buy the beans? Remember in my video, I said I planted about 2 or 2.5 mudu of beans. I think it's about 2 mudu actually. I bought those beans because it's the beans is called butter beans. It was sold for 3,500 naira when I bought them. 2 mudu. Each mudu was 3,500 naira. So I bought 2 mudu, which is 7,000 naira. 7,000 Nigerian naira. Let me check out what naira is in dollars, because I have viewers from the US and the UK. 7,000 naira to a dollar, to dollars. The conversion rate, that's about, it cost me 4.53 US dollars to buy the beans. 4.53 US dollars to buy 2 mudu of beans. Now, remember from the video, I told you I got about 31 mudu, 29 to 31 mudu of beans from planting 2 mudu. I'll get back to that at the end of this breakdown. Transportation, because I went twice, to and fro, 4,000. I'm adding this, although that was not my sole purpose of going to the market to buy the beans, but I just added it as part of my expenses in the whole process of the farming the beans. 4,000 naira transportation. Then I paid for making the ridges and the planting of the beans, although I partook in the process, making of the ridges and planting of the beans. Now it's 10,000 naira. Now I want to make something clear. This 10,000 naira also was part of the money I paid for the making of the ridges for my groundnut. Remember, I planted groundnut. Groundnut is always planted before beans. I have a video already being made where I planted groundnut. You can go and watch it. So I planted groundnut on a part of the farm before I now farmed beans. There's a part of the farm where I didn't plant groundnut, but there's a part where I planted groundnut. So Now, this 10,000, I will not say the whole money went into the ridges for the beans. Do you understand? So I planted groundnut and then I went ahead to plant beans. This 10,000 also went into some other things, but let me just put it at 10,000. That means if I'm calculating profit, that means I will not calculate how much I used in making ridges for the groundnut. So in essence, what I would have spent maybe generally on making ridges for and planting the beans would have probably been 5,000, but I've put it at 10,000 because that was what I paid for that, both the planting of the beans and the groundnut. Then I spent 5,500 naira on herbicides. Remember, after planting the beans, I sprayed a chemical to kill all the weeds in order for it not to grow. That was why I did weeding just once on the beans farm. So I sprayed herbicide, 5,500 naira. The thing is that it's not finished. I'm still going to use it next year when I farm in 2025. 5,500 naira. I also bought insecticide or pesticide, the one that stops all these insects from feasting on the leaves and all that. 5,500 naira. Then I also paid for weeding of the farm, 20,000. Now this is another. Now that insecticide I bought, I have a video of herbicides, insecticides I use on my farm. You can also go and watch it. I made a full video on that. Insecticide came in. Yeah. So for those of you that want to ask the question, you can ask. I will still respond to it. But you can go watch my videos on insecticide, pesticide I use on my farm. So and I'm still going to use the chemical. Is not finished. I'm still going to use it next year. Do you understand? So then I paid for weeding of the farms. Now the weeding of the farm cost me 20,000. This 20,000 didn't go entirely into the weeding of the beans farm, because I had yam farm, potato farms, and also the groundnut farm. Do you understand? So I will say the cost of actual weeding of this beans farm, I'll peg it at maybe around 10,000. Although I've put in this, for the purpose of this breakdown, I've put it at 20,000 naira, 20,000 Nigerian naira. So then the harvest labor, I spent 6,000 in the harvest. Remember I was part of it, of the harvest process. I actually paid the guy for the harvest, but my staff that live with me in my house, my housekeepers, they actually also assisted in the whole process, the harvest labor and the processing of the beans. Putting all this together, the total cost of the production is 58,000. Putting all this together, beans purchase 7,000, transportation 4,000, ridges and planting 10,000, herbicide chemical 5,500, the chemical for the insecticide and pesticide 5,500, weeding of the farm 20,000, labor cost, that's harvest labor and harvest labor 6,000. Everything amounted to 58,000. Now this 58,000, like I said, if I want to look at it holistically, because some of these costs spilled to other things I planted during this year, like the groundnut, the yam, potatoes. What else did I farm? I think that's about that I did this year in terms of farming. So if I remove about 15,000 from this, it actually cost me around 43,000 naira actually to propagate 2 mudu of beans. It can be less if you have the energy to do it yourself, some of these things yourself. If you don't have the energy, it it can be more than this, but it can actually be lesser than this, because there are instances where you might not need the herbicide. If you have the energy to weed, you might not need the herbicide. If you have the energy to do your ridges, you won't pay that 10,000, you know. So it cost me 58,000 naira cost of production of the beans. 58,000 naira in US dollars, that's 58,000 naira to dollars, that's 37.50 US dollars. $37 I used to farm the beans for the year 2024. Now back to my analysis. The total yield, 31 mudu. Why I said 31 mudu is because remember I said people went into my farm and took some. So I'm trying to estimate what was taken to be about 2 mudu. It might have been more. But what I actually had in my house is 29 mudu. But if I had done holistic harvest, I would have gotten about 31 mudu. Let me assume 31 mudu. So a price per mudu currently in the market is still 3,500. Price of beans per mudu is 3,500. So the total market value of my harvest would have been 31 times 500, right? That's going to be 108,500 naira. So if I had gone to the market to buy these beans within this 3 months period, I would have spent 108,500 naira in purchasing the beans I harvested. But I spent 58,500 for the 3 months farming process. That means I have a marginal profit, of 50,500. So I want to believe this answers your question. True wealth. So my total cost 58,000 naira and my produce 108,500 naira. So when you remove do the subtraction, it means I saved about 50,500 naira. It could have been more. You know. So I hope this answers your question. If there's something I didn't touch here, kindly drop it in the comment section and I'll still respond to it. Thank you very much for those that have been watching. It's the Yuletide season. It's the Christmas season. Today is 27th of December 2024. And we're still in the Christmas celebrations. I still want to wish you out there a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year that is up ahead. We're expecting the New Year in like about 3 days time or 4 days time. Be great out there. Be great, be good, be excellent. Thank you for watching. Have a blessed year ahead.
Yeah, come on.